Hello, my name is Alicia Rowell. I'm the Vice President of AIM at Melanoma, and thank you for having me. I know I'm the last person between you and wherever you've got to go, so I promise I will give you good information. It's very exciting, and I won't take too long. Thank you, Kate, for mentioning this very important tissue bank. Before I give you this information, I need to tell you briefly the story of AIM because it'll make sense why we're doing this. Val Guild, our founder and president, Sam's mother, had 3 daughters, and her middle daughter graduated Brown University and took a job on Wall Street. She was so smart, neuroscience and Russian literature double major. And she then came home because she was thinking about medical school, and home was San Francisco area. And she had a pain in her chest, in which the doctor took an x-ray, and there was nothing there. So the pain went away, and they moved on for a few months, and she was still studying for those medical entrance exams, and then she got that pain again. And this time they said, let's do a scan. And then the bad news came. Stage 4 melanoma, and Charlie Gill died 9 months after that diagnosis in 2003. It was a Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and Val, the next Monday after the funeral, said, okay, I cannot go back to work now. And she began what is now AIM at Melanoma. And she definitely knew she wanted to tackle some of the issues that she came up with, which was, okay, there's no information online, it's not current information, there was no one to talk to, what about who's the expert in my area, et cetera. So she did, and AIM has, and we're well known for that information. But the other thing that she just couldn't fathom, and she met John in this process, was why in the world is there no treatment that works? And she started around the United States and then went global, and she asked the world's most well-known melanoma researchers, what are we missing? What's needed? Why are we so far behind? And you can imagine she got a variety of answers, but she got one with a lot of frequency, and that is that we need a fresh frozen primary tissue tumor bank for melanoma with annotated data, meaning your background depersonalized, but all of that information. And we need a critical mass of these tissues. There are some places that have a few. There are some places that have actually quite a few, but not annotated necessarily. And why? I'm sure your question is, why? Well, what researchers think is that the genetic code for melanoma is in that primary tissue. The genetic code for cancer is in that primary tumor. And if you think about melanoma for a moment, it's not like other tumors. If you get a tumor removed for any other cancer, you're likely in the hospital getting all of the data, getting in all of your tissue samples taken, your urine, your blood, et cetera. Melanoma, you're often down the street, maybe not here in Pittsburgh with your wonderful UPMC system, but in any town USA, you're going to a dermatologist's office near the school or dentist's office, and they're pulling it off you and saying, let's send it away and see what it is. The RNA needs to survive. I'm told it's about 45 minutes until it is not accessible anymore, and that takes fresh freezing for this. So those are the reasons why fresh frozen primary tissue. Those are the reasons that it hadn't been done before. And I think another note to have is that here at UPMC and a few places across the country, you have this wonderful blend of a place where you can go with stage 4 cancers and feel like you're having the best treatment, but you might also be the place where you or your neighbor goes to get that stage 1 melanoma removed. So the people see both the primaries and the stage 4 people. So Val was told, impossible, you're not going to be able to do it. Because many people said, how can you collaborate with human samples, human skin samples across the United States, because you need a critical mass? Well, as Val would say, don't tell a mother something's impossible. I'm excited to tell you that a week ago yesterday, we sent out the press release to announce the opening of the International Melanoma Tissue Bank Consortium, the first branch of 6 right here at UPMC under the watchful eye of Dr. John Kirkwood. This is a global first, and I want to give you the 7 reasons why it's a global first. Number one, it's a consortium. There are 6 institutions across the world, 2 in Australia, 4 in the United States, sharing data and tissue samples with each other. I cannot tell you how hard that was with lawyers to get that to happen. Decade of work. It's collaborative. Not only are these 6 institutions researchers able to use this tissue, but any researcher across the globe who applies to use the tissue and the board decides it's a worthy project may use it and the data. The tissue will be fresh frozen. The RNA will be capable to be used. The tumors are primary, not metastasized. I'm no physician, but this is what I'm told. Researchers used to think they could understand the genetic code through that metastasized tumor, and they now know it's the primary they really need. There will be a critical mass. The goal is 500 over 2 years, and then continuing to collect until we have the largest tissue bank there is. Last 2 reasons this is a global first. Full annotation will accompany every sample. That's your patient data. Those are all the things on the board that you've seen all day. Things like how many peeling sunburns did this person have? Is there any other cancer in the family? Is there any other melanoma in the family? And on and on and on. And finally, it's depersonalized, by the way, that information. Finally, the samples will be accompanied by blood and urine samples, and we are preparing for fecal samples for the obvious reason now that you've heard that talk. The other 5 locations right now have agreed in concept to their contracts, and we're just waiting on IRB and other things. And so please be looking for those next press releases. I hope that they're in the next couple months and that we can be functioning on all cylinders. AIM at Melanoma is so proud to work with UPMC and Hillman Cancer Center and Dr. John Kirkwood on this project, and we're so excited after 15 years, truly the last decade of crazy work on this. And so that's the exciting announcement. Many people since last Friday have asked, how can you help? How can you help? Do they want to contribute their tissue and contribute to the cause? So I want to answer those 2 questions because they've been the most common. Anyone with a primary who can go to this site now and the other 5 once they open and it can contribute. Many of the people we talk to are beyond that, but perhaps if you know someone and who's here and can go, that's how you can contribute tissue. And the other question I've gotten, and I love this question, is how can we help? Can we give to this? And you absolutely can. Gifts to AIM at Melanoma will go to the tissue bank from this. This is exactly what we're fundraising for. And if anyone wants to speak with me about that, I'm going to be here, as well as our donate button on our website. We can't wait to get this up and running and answering the questions that we've been looking at for so many years, such as, why do some people respond to immunotherapy when others don't? Whose stage 1s will progress and whose won't? Whose will become deadly and whose won't? Those are the types of things we're looking at, and we can't wait to look at the answers to those things for once for melanoma. So thank you, Dr. Kirkwood. Thank you all.